Hey gang, I am on my deck in Minnesota, in the most beautiful place in the world, and I have some time. I'm shooting some videos here, and I thought I'd respond to some questions about the Guitar Center drum off that I've been getting. A lot of people have been reaching out, asking about preparation and the experience and solo construction, so I thought I'd spend a few minutes just chatting about it with you. First thing is to be unique. Be yourself, do you. It sounds cheesy, but it's true. Like you gotta do you, do something different. How are you gonna be remembered? What are you gonna do that's a little out of the box? Maybe don't do what every other competitor's done. I mean, you can look up all the other competitors on YouTube. Maybe don't play in 4/4 the whole time. Maybe explore some new things. Push yourself. The second thing is to feel what you're doing. I really personally believe that when you're performing, what you feel is what everyone else around you and watching is going to feel. And if you're anxious and unprepared, that's going to come through to the rest of the audience. I think since life is about emotion and that's all we really know is that we feel things, that's what people can grab onto. And since they added the Roland Octopad to the competition this year, I feel like that just blew that potential through the roof, because the musical and harmonic capabilities were just, the boundaries are just so far expanded. And I've always find it's hard to make someone feel that much as a listener playing the drums. Like, I feel this super intense feeling when I'm playing, but it doesn't necessarily come through. To sort of have that melodic and harmonic capability is really, it opens a lot of doors. And for example, when I started my piece, I just hit a couple chords, like a synth and a piano together. And if anyone can hit the pad and just let it sit there, but that's not the point. The point isn't to show off my drumming. The point is to make you feel something. Because the second that someone really feels something, even if it's sadness, even if it's like, oh, that's a sad progression of chords, I feel sad. It's like, that's the minute that you've connected with them and you've said, I feel this. Do you feel this? And they go, oh yeah, I feel that. So that is important. Feel what you're doing. Have a purpose. And use the gear that you're given. I mean, they added the Octopad this year. Some people hated it, some people loved it, but in the end, it's a tool, and why not use all the tools you're given? What else? You definitely need to be prepared to put the time in. People ask me how much I prepared for the competition, and I really can't give them a number, because it's like a 5-month process. It's maybe not that many. It's 4 months. It's several month process from the first round to the finals. So I remember it snowballed. You know what I mean? So I mean, by the end, I was going crazy though. I was obsessed. Before regionals, I was skipping classes to practice. I set up a strict 4-hour practice schedule, and this is while I was in Boston at school, while I'm playing in like 6 bands and traveling and doing all this stuff. It was like, it doesn't matter. If it's 2 a.m. and I haven't practiced 4 hours, I better get in the practice room. And it sometimes sucked, but in the end, it's like, all I wanted to do was look back and have no regrets and think, I did everything I possibly could to get where I can potentially be. And that's what I was like. I went home on winter break, got off like December 19th, came to my house here, and I have a little drum room in the basement, and it was just every day, all day. It's like, wake up, drum, like, how can I get better? What new things can I try? Maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. How can I perfect this? Or blah, blah, blah. Work on my stick tricks, lame stuff too. But it was every day, all day. It was hundreds of hours, and I do feel like I could not have done anything more to prepare. And thank God it paid off. But even if it doesn't, even if you don't win, you don't nail the solo, you don't nail the lick, whatever you're doing, if you did all you could, then at least you know where you're at, and you know what you need to work on, and that's what's really important. It's not about winning whatever, it's not about being number one, it's just about loving what you're doing, and keep doing it. Which brings me to my fourth piece of advice, which is to believe in yourself. Again, it sounds kind of like, oh, this is like what my 5th grade teacher would tell me at career planning day. But really, I remember this round of competitions. The first competition, I didn't really prepare. It kind of came up out of nowhere. I'm kind of like, oh, it's like, oh crap, that's today. So I spent maybe 2 hours in the practice room thinking about, oh, I'll do this, I'll do this. And then I went to the competition at the Guitar Center, and luckily I moved on. Thank God, because I remember walking home from that thinking, and then it dawned on me. I just remember this. It dawned on me. I was like, there's no reason that I can't win this competition. You know? There's no reason I can think of that I am incapable of winning. And from that second on, man, I was obsessed. Like, it didn't matter. It didn't matter anything. I was just like, I want to do this so badly. I'm going to put everything I can into it. Because earlier that year, I had won the Roland V-Drums competition in the U.S. And I was like, man, if I can get 2, that's something special. You know, someone wins these competitions every year. And not to take away from that, it's an amazing achievement, but I was like, I want to be the guy to win both. You know, it's like the 2 biggest that I know of. So it was like, there was no stopping me. It's like, it didn't matter what was going on, I was practicing. And I think my motto is, now I kind of developed this while I was working on this stuff, is that practice makes you better, preparation makes your worst better. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I get on stage, I play close to my worst. It's like, I can't play, I'm not going to push myself and almost have this lick and then plan on nailing it on stage, because it's not going to happen. You know, if you can nail it 100% of the times, and you can't mess it up, like you've mastered it, like you couldn't even try to mess it up, that's the point where you can nail that, play that lick on stage, or whatever it is, you know? Yeah, it was an amazing experience, though. People ask me, what was it like out in California? It was really cool. We got there 4 days early. Guitar Center took such awesome care of us. They put us at hotels, driving us around. We saw the DW factory. We went to Drum Channel, met Terry Bozzio, and saw his monster kit. I actually got to jam with him later. And it was really cool. I mean, the awesome part is, as it always is with drummers, that the other guys in the competition, man, we were just hanging out. Like, from the second we landed, we were buddies. And even through the competition, everyone's really supportive. There's no egos. Everyone really wants to win, but everyone realizes that it's out of our hands at that point, you know? So, because I can't tell you how to win, and no one can, because every year there's a whole new set of judges, there's a whole new criteria. They might add another thing to the setup. It's like there's a whole bunch of variables. So in the end, you just have to do you, put your all in, and see if you almost get lucky, you know? You see who the judges are. Maybe they like you this year, maybe they don't like you next year. I don't know. But after all that blabbing, another thing I wanted to address is solo construction, because a lot of people have asked me about how do I plan my solo? How did you plan your solo? So I have my drum kit set up downstairs, and I will just take you down there and run you through the solo and what I was thinking as I put it together. Because I basically think of it as like a structure, and then within that structure there's sections, and within the sections there's a theme, and then there's room to improvise. So let's go.